Let's talk some current baseball. We'll get into spicy and dicey here. Pick one team that's trending up, one team that's trending down. I feel like we focus so much on these prospects, or not prospects, but the trade deadline and stuff. Let's talk about some real things that are happening right now in the game because things are shaking up and we're almost at 100 games played. We might be there. I don't even know. But we're approaching 100 games played by some of these teams. And things are heating up as we approach wild card season. The extra wild card spot means a lot more teams are competing going late into the season. So, James, spicy and dicey, first time on video doing it. Give me one team that is trending up right now. Who's spicy?
Look, this one's hard. There's going to be accusations. I have a lot in my wheelhouse that I've written down, but at the end of the day, I just kept coming back to the fact that the stats back me up in such a regard. I don't feel like it's a homer pick. I have the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have been on it's more than a heater at this point. It's kind of wild. It's not talked about all the time. 8-2 over their last 10. Um, Washington did sneak 2 wins for them, but what's impressive to me over their last 23 games, they are 19-4. I mean, that is ridiculous. That's why I'm not worried if they acquire at the deadline or not, because 19-4, they are just beating everyone. And part of those Cardinals snuck out one of those wins. Again, Nationals with two kind of flukes in there. They've been scorching hot, including a sweep of the San Francisco Giants, which I called on this podcast incredible. Too easy.
Yeah, I mean the Dodgers are great. They've been playing great all year, and but especially of late, going into the deadline or going into the All Star break and post All Star break, they've just kept it up. Um, I had a couple teams on here. I mean, I wanted to say the Mariners. I'm wearing the hat. They won 14 straight before the break. They got swept by the Astros, but then they swept the Rangers back, so they're still looking good. But I went with the New York Mets. Um, just this past Subway Series, it was electric baseball. 2 games in Citi Field against the New York rival, the New York Yankees. And I mean, it lived up to the hype. We got 3 battles between Scherzer and Judge last night. Scherzer struck him out all 3 times. So electric. And for the Mets to win both of those games, I think it's huge for them. The story all year in baseball has been how good the Yankees are. Judge is going to break the home run record. They're on pace to beat the Mariners' 2001 wins record. And to bring the Yankees into Citi Field and take 2 from them, I think they deserve a lot of credit. And going into that game, I mean, they've been playing well too. They lost the series to the Padres 2-1. But before that, I think they beat the Cubs and then they beat the Braves in a series. So the Mets are looking good and they're getting hot at the right time. DeGrom is coming back next week. Scherzer looked amazing yesterday. This team is gearing up and getting hot at the right time.
Well, and I think it's a good time to remind ourselves that we're finally going to see the actual Mets as they were constructed, as Stephen Cohen showed out his money to do. It'll be interesting to see if they do anything at the deadline as far as some of the extra bats that are available, because I think they certainly could use it. They just have like no power, a lot of great
Trey
contact. They do have
Mancini.
Pete. Trey Mancini would be a great fit. Could see that happening. Brian Reynolds, I also think could maybe go there. Uh, so
They got
we'll
Vogel
see.
back.
Yeah, and so I mean it's going to be interesting to see. But again, love the call out on the Mets. There was a lot of teams eligible. Just to run through, I thought Toronto had a bid. Again, you
Oh,
mentioned
yeah, for sure.
Seattle. Like Seattle, we just missed the wrong time because that streak was the coolest thing in baseball. Shout out the Mariners. Been a fan since day one of this season. Awesome stuff there. Again, the Mets, the Guardians, and if you're really looking for a laugh, the Chicago Cubs have a sneaky 6-game win streak. So all kinds of ways to go. Um, at the end of the day, I respect where we went. My question, I'm almost certain we have the same Dicey team. Mine, you definitely could guess, but Max, who's Dicey?
I so I know who you're gonna pick, so I'm not gonna pick them. Because I want to mix it up a little bit. I'm going with the Boston Red Sox. Um, they are now 5th place in the AL East. The Orioles jumped them. They just got spanked by the Blue Jays at home. I mean, 28-5. It was 25-3, I think, after the 5th inning in that game. So far, they're in the middle of a series with the Guardians. They're down 2-1 in that series. Before that, they lost 3 straight to the Blue Jays. Before that, they lost 2 straight to the Yankees, 13-2, 14-1. Um, it's a big question mark because I think the Red Sox were kind of a team that it was, are they buying or selling at this deadline? Because they've got JD Martinez, they've got Xander Bogaerts, they've got Rafael Devers, they've got all these guys that are super good. Are they trying to trade JD Martinez, or are they trying to bring guys in that could maybe bolster the rotation and give them a chance? But I mean, the Orioles are ahead of them now, and I love the Orioles. I think they're going to be really good in the next 2, 3, 4 years. But if you're a Red Sox fan, you should not be expecting to be fifth place in the AL East 100 games into the season. So Red Sox are my dicey team. Now, James, I know who you're going to pick here.
But before I even get into it, one of the things I just want to touch on with the Red Sox, not only have they been getting obliterated on the scoreboard, but like their defense has looked terrible. I mean, it's worse than Little League. Like Alex Cora literally came out and said, like, we need to catch the ball. You should, past sixth grade, you should not be telling baseball players, well, if we just catch it. I mean, it's been like air after air after air after air. Like, it's impossible to watch. Been following along with Jared Carabas's tweets. And I mean, that dude, we got to get him a pack of smokes or a therapist or something, which all deserved. The Red Sox, again, looked terrible to start the year. They bounced back, put themselves in a position, and now, again, they're terrible. So I love the pick. Glad that they got their shout out, Max.
That
With
Guardians
that,
game last night was ugly. Just errors all over the place for
it,
them.
it's like, it's unwatchable. It really is from like a defensive perspective. If it was my team, I would lose my mind. With that being said, something that I can't ever let go under the rug needs to have attention called to it. One of the funniest things of all time is the fact that the dicey team of the week is, of course, the San Francisco Giants. I mean, hilarious organization. I love it. I said they were going to get swept by LA. That's exactly what happened. We opened the closet, pulled out the brooms, got it done. And it just looked, they're 3-7 over their last 10. They're on a 7-game losing streak and got swept by the rivals. I think now they have to be selling. Certainly, they can't be buying. They have no chance. I don't know why you would go after it again. If the Padres make a monster move, the Dodgers are probably going to only get better. And by the way, they've now put double-digit leads on the rest of the division. San Francisco, to me, it kind of shows last year really was, I wouldn't say a fluke. They certainly earned it. We're a great team. But it shows that that was a one-off event. So it's very funny to me. Like, I hope they enjoyed their 1 year winning the NL West in this decade. I don't know. Have fun in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants are at this point, a non-factor. It almost seems like when you look at the wild card race, they were a team I was worried about because they're not going to win the division, and Cardinals, if they don't, they're going to be competing with the Giants. Um, but yeah, I mean, winning 107 games last year. I mean, was it all Buster Posey? It certainly seems like it. Um, the thing is, though, like, who are they even going to sell? Like, I don't feel like
They
they've got.
could do Jock Pop.
Yeah, Jock Pop. I mean, maybe a Yastrzemski, La Stella, Ruff, someone like that. But like Brandon Crawford, Brandon Bell, Evan Longoria, those guys are older, and I don't think anybody really wants them unless it's just kind of like, let's get him for one postseason run here. But they're now 3.5 games behind the Cardinals for the third wild card spot. So certainly looking like they are out of the mix. And yeah, definitely the right pick, James.
It's low hanging fruit at this point. So I hate to go homer back to back, but that's how it is. They're bums.
I was going to pick the Astros just to be kind of funny. I mean, I know they're amazing and they swept the Mariners, but they just got swept in Oakland. Oakland just seems to have their number at all times. But I mean, the Astros are great, but that was a weird, weird series.
It's just very funny because you have an Oakland team that actively wants to lose games. Like they do not want to win, and they are fighting against themselves winning and still beat the Astros, one of the best teams in baseball.